Starting lineups for the Seattle Mariners on a cool night, but not unreasonably so, at Fenway with the wind blowing in. Spike Owen will lead off and play shortstop. Phil Bradley in left field. Ken Phelps at first base. Gorman Thomas, the hitter. Jim Presley, third base. Ivan Calderon in right field. Danny Tartable at second base. Dave Henderson in left field. And Steve Yeager, the catcher. The umpiring crew will be Vic Voltaggio behind the plate. Tim Welke at first base. Crew chief Dave Phillips at second. And Larry McCoy calling the plays at third. As we mentioned, the wind blowing in, a pitcher's night, and here's one pitcher that's ready to go, Roger Clemens.
Well, one thing, he's won every time he's had a chance to be a winner here in 1986. 3-0 in the year, 1.85 earned run average. 24 in the third innings of work for Roger. He's given up 19 hits. That's impressive. He's given up 5 earned runs out of a total of 7, walking 10, striking out 19. And as we mentioned before, he'll look at this Seattle ball club tonight, who right now is hitting a very small 207, which is, as you might imagine, the low mark for an American League team offensively. That doesn't mean to say that they don't have some guys that can hit some pitches. That is for sure that they can. They proved last year some young men in their lineup can really get around on some fastballs. So it may be important, as I was mentioning last week in the start for Roger here against Kansas City. They also possess some very good fastball hitters. So do the Seattle Mariners. And you kind of hope that they stay a little bit on that low slide that they have been on until they can get out of here and play some of these other Eastern American League foes.
Well, Roger beat Chicago 7-2 April 11th in Chicago. He won his next 2 starts, both of them here, Kansas City and Detroit. He's had trouble with Seattle in his career. He has not beaten them. He is 0-2 against them, and of course is making, he was 0-1 last year, making his first appearance against them as we see Seattle for the first time as they come as part of a long road trip. They've already played 4 games on the road trip and lost 3 of them in Oakland. They started their trip in Oakland and are coming here to face the Eastern clubs along the seaboard, including this series starting tonight. Red Sox having enjoyed a day off, a legitimate day off, following the rain out in Kansas City. They got home at a decent hour and had the day to themselves. So they're ready to go. Tony Armas unable to play. Steve Lyons in center field for the Red Sox tonight. And Bill Buckner, still favoring a bad elbow, is the designated hitter again with Don Baylor at first base.
One thing that may have helped Ned, though, is getting Rice 2 days off after that knee had flared up on him a little bit.
Right.
And he is, with Armas out of there, has to be in that lineup in the outfield.
Spike Owen, the shortstop, hitting .246 with 1 run batted in. Mariners have come across bad ways at the plate of late. After a pretty good start, they won 5 of their first 7 or 8 ball games, and then started dipping as a hitting team. There's strike 1. We are underway at Fenway. Blows him down with a fastball up and in. The given temperature 56 degrees. A little cooler it feels because the wind is blowing in. A little bit of an east wind. Owen up there, able to handle a bat, able to bunt, so Boggs is close at third, and down he goes again as Roger has been inside on him 3 straight times, 2 of them like that.
Not very nice to your former teammate, I guess, is it? You've been a little close to Spike.
2 balls, 1 strike. Well, he's got to know something about him.
Apparently he knows that he can't get around an inside pitch, it looks like.
Strike 2. 2-2. And a foul back by Spike Owen. Owen's been a pretty good road hitter so far this year with this club. He's had 10 hits and 29 times up away from the Kingdome. make it ball 3, strike 2. Fouls a good pitch back as Roger comes in up and in again. Owen will be followed by Phil Bradley and Ken Phelps. Red Sox had seen nobody but the Tigers, the White Sox, and Kansas City for a couple of weeks, and now they're going to see nobody but these Western clubs for a couple more. Good 3-2 pitch again, foul back. Play the Mariners, Oakland, and California here, and then go right out to the coast after that and play the same 3 teams again in an 8-game set. Clemens just kept pouring the coals on a 3-2 count and finally got Spike Owen.
Actually, you make a little better hitter out of Spike Owens once you get the counts to 3-2, and he did foul off some pretty good pitches from Roger, but it looked like Roger may have said, well, let me get just a little extra, and he scooted that one right by Mr. Owen.
So there's one of them gone, and Phil Bradley, the left fielder, is up. Ball 1 to this fine looking player who right now is struggling with a .239 mark and has had 5 hits in his last 40 times up. 2-0. Bradley hit an even .300 last year and .301 the year before in his first 2 full years with Seattle. There's a strike.
The Mariners have outrighted left-handed pitcher Paul Mirabella to the AAA Calgary team. They have activated right-handed pitcher Edwin Nunez for tonight's game.
2-1 pitch. 3-1.
Also, there is a change in Thursday's pitcher for the Mariners. Bill Swift will start instead of Matt Young.
Paul Mirabella, a pitcher, has been optioned, outrighted by the Mariners, and Edwin Nunez activated. 3-2 again, and the second 3-2 count.
Shoulder, he is in a day-to-day situation.
3-ball, 2-strike count to Bradley. And strike 3. Well, a mess of pitches, but they all turned out right for Clemens so far. 2 straight strikeouts.
Not a bad sequence. Roger got behind quickly 2-0, then went to the breaking ball to get the strike, and then back to the fastball. Bradley went for a borderline pitch there with a count 3-2, and your fastball hitter, you've got to get it turned up one thing a little bit quicker than that. Last 2 of those fastballs just right by Bradley untouched.
Here is first baseman Ken Phelps, who's been up only 15 times with 3 hits. Alvin Davis has a jammed shoulder. The normal first baseman, he is out of the lineup and is on a day-to-day basis. So Phelps is playing in here. Has 2 home runs, though. He's a long ball type. Takes ball 1. Clemens pitching on a coolish night, but actually this is the best weather he's had so far. He has pitched on 3 cold games previously. It's a 2-0 count to Phelps. And that missing high. 3-0. So a bunch of pitches this first inning for Roger Clemens. Gorman Thomas is the designated hitter. He's on deck. Gets in there with a 3-1 count. Outfield shoveled around to right on Phelps, a pull hitter. Strike 2. Cuts that inside corner. Phelps trying to wait the walk. Jackknifed a little bit from that, but that caught the inside corner very nicely. And now for the 3rd straight batter, a 3-2 count. What a pattern in that first inning for Roger Clemens. Goes 3-2 on Owen, Bradley, and Phelps, and strikes them all out, swinging for rather startling and awesome first inning. So he seems to be on right now. And after a half inning of play, it's Seattle nothing, and the Red Sox coming up. And they're coming up with this lineup tonight. Dwight Evans in right field, Wade Boggs at third base, Bill Buckner, the designated hitter, Jim Rice in left field, Don Baylor back again at first base, Rich Gedman, the catcher, Marty Barrett at second base, Steve Lyons in center field, and Glenn Hoffman back to the wars at shortstop after sitting out with the bad ankle. And out on the mound, the #1 draft pick in the nation in 1981. Seattle got him, and he has been worth it, Mike Moore.
Big man out of Oklahoma, about 6'5" of him, somewhere around 205, 210. He'll be making a start number 5 for him. He's had a 1-1 record, a 2.08 earned run average, 34 2/3 innings of work for the big right-hander, and he can be nasty on some right-handed hitters. He has given up 30 hits, 12 runs, 8 of those have been earned. He's walked 11, struck out 19. That 11 and 19 ratio, not really indicative of him. He'll be around that plate a little more often. He will not walk as many in a ratio to strikeout as he has currently running for himself. The Seattle Mariner Ball Club has given up 21 home runs, and Moore has given up 4 of those.
2-1 against the Red Sox last year. Those were victories here. And on his season doings with them, he has beaten them 3 times and has lost to them 3 times since coming up after being their #1 choice in the country. Roy Evans, Wade Boggs, and Bill Buckner will be up. Evans batting .242 with 1 home run and 6 batted in. Outfield straightaway on Dwight, taking strike 1. We might be feeling more of a breeze in the natural wind tonight. So far we have with with Clemens in the first half. Has some more from this guy too. Foul back, and it's 0-2.
Talk about intimidation a lot as a right-handed hitter especially, and I mentioned the fact Moore really tough on right-handers. When you look at his frame, you think he's going to step on you when he lets it go.
Strikes out Evans. Breaking ball, and Evans claims he tipped it and was into the dirt and came into the glove of Steve Yeager. That's what he is claiming. Of course, if that's the case, then it would not be a strike. It has to be caught cleanly, but overruled by Vic Voltaggio. So we've seen nothing but strikeouts so far.
I don't think this ball hit the ground. A good hard slider is another thing that makes him tough on the right-handers. We'll check it out a little closer right here, though. No, sir. He just kind of got the glove turned the wrong way, really, but I do not think that ball hit the ground.
Wade Boggs taking ball 1. Boggs at .318 with a couple of homers and 12 batted in. Boggs last year hit .357 against his club. Well, we got something hit anyway down to shortstop, and Spike Owen throws Boggs out. One, 2 down in the Red Sox first inning. Bill Buckner playing again as the designated hitter, still bothered by the sore elbow. And a ball.
Billy, big hit.
Buck hitting an even 200. 1 home run. Had it in Kansas City. There's a shot to center field, and Henderson back. He has got it for the out. A 1-2-3 inning for Mike Moore, and the pattern may have been set. After 1 inning, no score. Top of the 2nd inning in a scoreless game. we would like to welcome back to the booth Kathy Kurtz-Ferrari, who was our AD last year, all last year. She's done one thing. She's changed her name. Got married, and we're happy to have her back. And we are very pleased to have had Amy Croak here for the times before Kathy returned. So all is well. Amy will be working with the opposing team broadcasters. We'd also like to welcome back Walter Underhill, who was the Writers' Good Guy of the Year award at their Writers' Dinner last year. He's now back behind the wood, the hardwood, in the bar upstairs in the press room. Welcome back to Walter, who'd been indisposed for a while. Roger Clemens was welcoming the Seattle Mariners pretty heftily in the first inning. He struck them out 1-2-3. Pattern was the same. He went 3-2 on 3 hitters and got them swinging. Gorman Thomas, designated hitter, hitting .220 with 4 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Ball 1. There's a shot to left field. Rice back. He's got it. That ball hit hard. Thomas, who has hit the Red Sox hard in the past, this time lines to Jim Rice in left field. One down in the second, and Jim Presley, third baseman, up. He's hitting .208. That's far below what he can do. 2 home runs and 9 runs batted in for Presley. 7 hits in his last 51 times up. The kind of struggle that he has had. There's a strike. Hitting .137 in his last 13 games. He's a better player than that and a better hitter than that. Strike, cutting that outside corner. Roger seems to be in the rhythm. Velocity is there. That didn't take long at all. A little wrinkle on that third pitch. And Presley is out. Strikeout number 4 for Clemens.
Not much question about Roger being on a roll right now. He's doing it both ways, with the heater and with a good sharp breaking ball. That one didn't get really to where he would like to have had it, but it had enough velocity on it that still, these Mariners with a little bit of a slow bat, Roger even got the breaking ball by Presley there.
Ivan Calderon, the right fielder, lunging for strike 1. Clemens has struck out 10 or more 5 times in his career, 4 times at Fenway. He's got strike 2 on Calderon. Working on his 5th strikeout now if he can get it. Fans are starting to get excited early. 0-2 to Calderon. Got him right across that outside corner, and 2 more strikeouts for Clemens. He's got 5. After an inning and a half, no score. Jim Rice leading off in the second for the Red Sox. No score in this one, as Roger Clemens has put on a 5 strikeout display in the first 2 innings. Mike Moore. Fly ball, right field, fairly deep, but under it out there is Calderon, and he's got it for the out. Rice with a .235 average and 3 home runs, flying out on the first pitch. It's raining in New York right now, delaying the start of the game between the Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees. The scheduled pitchers are John Butcher for the Twins and Ron Guidry, 3-0 for the Yankees. California underway at Toronto. No score in the bottom of the first. Kirk McCaskill against Dave Stieb. Stieb has yet to win a game. Don Baylor up, and a foul tip for a strike. Baltimore at Chicago. Tom Seaver has returned to California for a death in the family. He'd been out there before attending his mother, so he is not with the White Sox. He was scheduled to start tonight. in tight to Baylor, who has a .234 mark with 4 home runs. Nelson, Gene Nelson, the White Sox pitcher against McGregor in Chicago tonight. Ball 2. Kansas City Royals nothing. The Tigers nothing. Bottom of the first at Detroit. Dennis Leonard against Frank Tanana. Oakland at Milwaukee. Cleveland at Texas later. 2-1 to Don Baylor. Mike Moore on the mound. Slider for a strike. 2-2. The New York Mets, with a 9-game winning streak on the line, are leading the Atlanta Braves 7-5 in a wild win in the 6th inning at Atlanta. Ron Darling is long gone, relieved by Bereni and Leach. For the Mets, that's high to Baylor. 3-2. Mailer relieved by McMurtry for Atlanta. Strawberry hit a home run, a 3-run job, his second. And Claudell Washington hit one, his second, for the Braves. Slowly hit the third, charged by Presley, barehanding it and safe at first base. Off the bag with a foot was the first baseman, Ken Phelps. And it'll go as a base hit for Baylor.
Good little play by Presley. Of course, with a 3-2 count on Baylor, Presley's going to be back to take advantage of that range and coverage. He comes charging hard, makes a good strong throw, and I believe Baylor would have been out had Phelps stayed on the bag. But he tried to cheat to help that play along a little bit. Came off the bag a little bit too early. And Tim Welke right there to make the proper call.
Little squib hit for Baylor. He's at first with 1 out, and Rich Gedman up. Ball 1. Gedman batting .293. A couple of home runs and 6 runs batted in. Other National League games, Montreal's at Cincinnati. 0-0 after 1. Smith against Soto. Strike on Gedman. Houston at Philadelphia. The Astros have won 3 in a row. They did not score in the top of the first. Phillies now batting. Ryan against Shane Raleigh. Nolan Ryan for the Astros, 3-2, and Raleigh is 2-1. A nice save there by Phelps on a bad throw by Moore. The Cubs are at San Diego, St. Louis at San Francisco, and Pittsburgh at Los Angeles later on tonight. 1-1. Chop to the right side and taken care of by Danny Tartable. That moves Baylor to second. Gedman is out there, 2 away. Danny Tartable making a visit to Fenway Park for the first time, a place where his dad played on the pennant winners of 1967. Jose Tartable, there's Danny, who already has hit more home runs this early season than his dad had in the career, I believe. I think Jose had 2, I'm not sure. But the Bull was a good player. He was fast. He was really a great addition to that club. He came over in '66 and stayed for 2 or 3 years. And it's his son now playing second base. Marty Barrett. The breaking ball by Mike Moore, ball 1. Barrett is hitting .327. Tops on the club. 1 home run, 5 batted in.
Jose, the bad singer in the shower, though.
Yeah.
No matter whether he had a good day or a bad day, he was still bad as a songster.
I joined him in several choruses on a train once cross country when we had to take a train instead of a plane. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Played with him just a short while in Louisville in 1970. He was caught in one of those numbers jobs there, and they sent him there, and he played for just a little while.
He was quite a guy, though. Always upbeat.
Oh, he was that. He was one of those guys that wanted to play 15, 16 innings every day instead of just 9 if you would have let him.
He could fly. He could run. Made one of the big plays in the '67 season when he threw out Ken Berry at home plate in Chicago, which potentially the winning run of a ball game. And he didn't have an arm at all, but he unloaded, and Berry, who could really run, was put out by Elston Howard. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, looking at the size of Danny Tartable against Jose, he's about twice as strong looking as Jose ever was. from their bill. Jose, kind of like a soda straw if he turns sideways.
A little oil can Boyd in
yeah, just
Jose.
about. That's right. Good comparison.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking pitch. Watch it. 1-2 with 2 away. Jostled the monitor already. Beautiful silhouette there. It's all in negative. Ball and 2 strikes. Grounded toward third and foul. Presley up with it, ready to fire, but called foul by Larry McCoy. And Baylor goes back to second. 2 out and 1 on in the second inning for the Red Sox in a scoreless game. Tigers got 1 in the first. They lead Kansas City 1-0 after 1 inning of play. Barrett trying to pick up Baylor for the first run if he could. Fly ball pretty well hit to left center field, back toward the gap, and it is taken out there by Henderson, going away on the warning pad. Barrett's bid for extra bases falls a little short, and that is all for the Red Sox in the second. They leave 1. And after 2 innings of play, 0-0. Game moving along here into the third inning with the Red Sox and Mariners no score. People starting to get the bat on the ball a little bit in the second after a very silent first inning thrown by 2 pitchers. Here's the way Barrett hit that ball.
He's going to make a little noise off that wall, I think, Ned. That wind not be blowing right in his face, although as the flag will tell you right there, not really a stiff breeze blowing right into Marty's plate. Charge up pretty good. Henderson a little bit into right center, not that far. Henderson got over there to make a nice running catch and then had time to protect himself so those panties. He got that right forearm up.
Here's Danny Tartabull taking ball 1. Tartabull started the season very in a hurry with those 4 homers. He hasn't been hitting much lately, but then the rest of the club hasn't either.
You know what happened, Ed? He had a little stomach virus, got sick for a couple of days. He came back and then lost a total of like 12 pounds over that time of being sick. And I don't know. I'm not sure he's really back to his full strength yet.
Not if you lose 12 pounds in a hurry like that, you aren't.
Lost 7 of them after playing that 1 game when he came back, and he was just kind of all run down and let out. They couldn't figure out what exactly was wrong with him. And then since then, that's the reason I couldn't figure out where he had hit more home runs.
Goes for the 3-0 pitch off Roger and fouls it back. Roger running the count to 3-0, and now it's 3-1. Tartabull, kind of slide he's been in, has 2 hits in his last 28 times at bat.
That's what he gets for hitting all those home runs so early.
And Roger gets back again on a 3-2 count after going 3-0.
Might have drawn a little bit too much attention to himself. Pitchers around the league say, wait a minute here. Here's somebody we got to be reckoned with, and we'll bear down a little harder.
Goes to Barrett at second. And that's 1 away. Fans wanted a strikeout, number 6 from Clemens, but they got the ground out instead, and that's fine with Roger, considering he went 3-0 to Tartabull. 1 down in the Mariner third. And Dave Henderson, the center fielder, coming up. Henderson hitting 128. 2 homers and 5 RBIs, but in the last couple of years, he at least has, on at least 2 occasions, beaten the Red Sox with home runs in this ballpark. A strike to him. 0-1. He has 2 hits in his last 20 times up. Foul back. Watch it. They're coming up here about as hard as they're coming into the plate. 0-2 the count.
Thank goodness we got a little longer to watch it, though, those hitters do.
That's right. Strike 3. Number 6. Henderson called out on strikes right on that outer edge.
Well, Roger does not waste any time here. He's just looking for a good thin spot on that plate to use, and he did. He just had maybe half the ball on that outside corner, the rest of it splitting that batter's box.
Here is Steve Yeager, catcher, and in strike one, making his first journey to Fenway Park after spending his time with the Dodgers in the National League. Hitting 133 right now. 1 ball, 1 strike. New veteran who, well, several spring trainings ago, his name was bandied about as possibly coming to the Red Sox. All Gavin has to do is just to present the target right now to Roger the way he's going. He's upstairs with that one. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeager kind of got double trouble this year. He's got not only learn American League pitchers, but he's got to learn American League hitters.
Yeah.
File all those guys away and try to keep some kind of a mental book on them when he can go get it when needed.
Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Yeager.
One thing, Ned, Seattle's still with a little bit of a young pitching staff, and Yeager's experience back there should help them along a little bit.
Crowd yelling for the strikeout. Ball at 3. Or 2-2. Yeager came over to this ball club for left-handed reliever Ed Vandenberg. The pitch fouled off. Smallish crowd, but right now they're being treated to some pitching here by both pitchers, but mostly by Clemens with the strikeouts that he has. 6 of them so far. Fly ball, center field. And Steve Lyons in the starting lineup right there. So that takes care of the 3rd inning, and Clemens has retired 9 batters in a row. And after 2 1/2 innings, it's 0-0. Along the left field wall at Fenway Park, and nobody's hit that wall yet. Only 1 batter has come close, Marty Barrett. As Mike Moore here and Roger Clemens have been dueling. Clemens has fanned 6 and retired 9 batters in a row. Moore has given up 1 hit, and he struck out the first batter he faced in the game, but has had no trouble. Steve Lyons coming up. Lyons starting now in place of the injured Tony Armas. Oh, he's upbeat. He was hyper around the batting cage today. He just couldn't wait to get started, get back in the lineup. He's only been to bat 5 times this year with 1 hit. That hit knocked in a run in Kansas City. 2-0 from Moore. Lyons, Hoffman, and then Dwight Evans this inning.
That hit happened to come with the bases loaded. Never know. That may start a string like Pat Tabler's got over in Cleveland.
Boy, there's a long way to go to get that. I don't know what kind of records they're ever kept about that, but I'm kind of glad they started with Tabler because his figures are amazing.
He made him start a record
Yeah.
record service on that particular situation.
3-0 to Lyons. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Steve didn't have to get up too high for this game. He's high almost every day anyway, but he
Yeah.
likes to play, a lot of energy.
Now has the count 3-2 as Moore comes back from a 3-0 count. Ball up in the air to Henderson in center field. 1 out. Henderson with 3 putouts so far. Now somebody else coming back into the wars, Glenn Hoffman. This is kind of a replay of last year, except it's a month earlier when Hoffman went into the lineup when Gutierrez was hurt, and when Lyons came into the lineup when Armas was hurt right around the latter part of May. This time it's the latter part of April, and they're getting back into it again. 1 strike to Hoffman, who says his ankle is fine, and he's kind of glad to start getting back here on grass. He's going to be playing his first 8 games on grass anyway. And he is behind on the count, 0-2. Wasn't too anxious to start breaking back in on artificial turf. Mike Moore to Glenn Hoffman. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got him. And Moore has a strikeout, his second. So he has gotten the leadoff batter and the number 9 hitter.
Good nasty breaking ball pitch from Mike Moore here. Of course, this is what he can do to you. You have to certainly respect his fastball, and his control is awfully good. As I mentioned earlier, those 11 walks and 19 strikeouts, not a good ratio for him at all.
2 down very quickly to the leadoff hitter, Dwight Evans. He went down swinging in the first. Seattle nothing, Boston nothing, 3rd inning. The game just about as advertised so far. The pitching matchup between Clemens and Moore. There's a base hit up the middle on a breaking ball, and Evans is on. 2-out single for Dwight Evans. The second Red Sox hit.
Moore trying to get to the outside part of the plate with this breaking ball. Doesn't quite get there. Dewey's got pull on his mind. That ball just stayed pretty much right in the middle, and Evans just shot him right back up the middle. Yes, sir. Boy, there's some low hemp right there running at you.
2 down to Wade Boggs with Evans at first. Boggs grounded to shortstop in the first. And strike 1 right on the outside edge. They have the left fielder Phil Bradley well toward the line, but they do not place the center fielder Henderson over that far into left center. He's more or less holding his own, only a couple of steps over to left center field. Tigers won, Kansas City nothing after 2 at Tiger Stadium. Dancing back from that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Toronto has taken a quick lead over California 1-0 after 1 at Exhibition Stadium. Evans just back, but the ball got away from Phelps anyway.
Ball might have hit Dewey on the hand or on the elbow. I believe it did. He goes diving back with that hand outstretched to the bag. He's just about the right size lead. The question is whether Phelps got any leather on it to slow it down a little bit.
I think he maybe did.
Yeah.
Marty, and it's kind of blocked it some. 1 ball, 1 strike. Evans bluffs and Boggs takes. Ball 2, 2-1. California's tied up Toronto now, 1-1 in the second. Still raining in New York, delaying the start between Minnesota and the Yankees. Evans at first base, 2 out, 3rd inning, no score. Now Boggs has the count his way, 3-1. No slide this time.
Well, that's a pretty good heat there from Moore to Phelps. I'll tell you. He's coming right up over the top, and he's not taking anything off.
Boggs to left field, curving foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes. In that game in Atlanta, the Mets have added 2 more runs. They now lead Atlanta 9-5 after 7 as the Mets try for their 10th in a row. We've got McDowell in there, the 4th pitcher they've used so far tonight. Dale Murphy has gone out of that game with a gash in his right hand in the 3rd inning. So I don't know how long he will be lost to Atlanta. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Evans will go. Boggs kind of flails it to left field. Under it and making the catch is Bradley. And that is all for the Red Sox in the 3rd inning. They get a hit and they leave 1. And after 3 innings of play here, it is 0-0. Here it is silent movies so far as Mike Moore and Roger Clemens are hammering it out on the mound. 0-0, and Clemens has faced 9 batters, got them all, and 6 on strikes. Not a bad start, Mr. Montgomery.
Well, it isn't, Ned, especially if you're a baseball purist. Of course, you and I kind of like these games a little bit more. Just watch some pitching and not quite so much offense. Although the Red Sox do have a couple of hits, they have not been able to get anybody past second base. Baylor did get there on an infield out. Top of the order up for the Mariners. Owen swung right through that one, foul tipped it. 0-1 to count. 3 batters here scheduled up were all struck out by Roger, of course, in the 1st inning. He has struck out 6 now through his first 3 innings of work. Baylor in even with the bag at first. Boggs in front of the bag at 3rd. Strike 2. Roger hasn't really played around much with the middle part of the plate. And not only is he striking some people out, he's not doing it just power-wise. He's doing it with a little bit of control mixed in. Had a couple of the strikeouts on some curveballs. The 0-2 quickly to Owen. There's the curveball raked into right field. That's the first Seattle hit. So Spike Owen, Roger's former teammate at the University of Texas, gets the first hit off Roger tonight.
Roger may have guessed with him a little bit and said, well, I think he's probably looking for the fastball. I'll throw him something breaking, and a good piece of hitting by Owen to get a clean single into right field on the breaking ball. This one served it down there.
I don't know if I'd be willing to change if I had him that far behind my fastball, but Roger did, and they have their first hit. Here's the left fielder, Phil Bradley. Roger, of course, will be aware of Owen's speed a little bit at first. Red Sox infield, Hoffman and Barrett set at double play depth. Something these Mariners looking for they have not had as of late. They have not had back-to-back hits in the last 68 innings now, and have only had 2 hits in a row in the last 111.
It's an amazing statistic, isn't it?
It is incredible. The one thing about it, it's not hard to figure out why their record stands at 7-12 after being 5-3 at one time. When you don't get back-to-back hits, it's just impossible to score. That's all. Again, Roger with that quick move over to first. No balls, a strike to count to the Seattle left fielder, Phil Bradley. Tries to bunt it and gets a little piece of the ball and a lot of Gedman on the foul tip, and it's 0-2.
I figure that's not a bad idea. With the way he's going, you play for a run now, Fenway or not.
Not a bad idea, even the way this Mariner club is going. If Cartier put the sign on himself, especially when you're facing a Clemens, you know you have not been scoring very much. What you'd like to do maybe is get something on the board to take a little pressure off your pitchers. You're striking out an awful lot. You're not advancing some runners along, that's for sure. Not putting the ball in play. Just outside with the breaking ball is Roger, and it's a 1-2 count. Last 11 games for the Mariners, they've hit just 137 as a team. Ooh, once again.
He knows that Owen can run, too, a little bit. He's a pretty good runner.
Well, he either slipped just a bit coming back there or he gave something away. His ideas looked like they were leaning towards second. Maybe they did give something away. Maybe Getty sniffed it out a little bit, too. They go with a pitch out, nothing going, 2-2. Third base coach. Struck him out. Went right to the inside corner and very hard on the fastball from Roger. And that's number 7.
So he says, let's go back to what got me here, and here's the fastball, and try to hit it. And it's right at a good spot to get Bradley out of there. Number 7.
First baseman Ken Phelps. Jim Mahoney coaching down at third for the Mariners. Former Red Sox and my former teammate Darren Johnson. And the hitting instructor, the coach over at first. Quick throw there. Owen back in time. Ball just a little bit behind Owen and Baylor, but no advancement.
Actually, Jim Mahoney was first signed by the Red Sox, too. He played there at their club in Minneapolis before when they were AAA there.
Another look over for Owen. He was an infielder, wasn't he?
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
Shortstop.
Darren Johnson, of course, he owns a title for some tape measure jobs in a lot of ballparks, both American and National League. Phelps has that ball thrown right by him by Roger. And it's an 0-1 count. One down in the top of the 4th inning. No score in this one as it's been all pitching. Clemens against Mike Moore. Talked about Western Division clubs during spring training. You certainly had to think about the Seattle Mariners. Not that they were ready to win over there, but ready to give some people some problems, and going into series thinking, well, they can win some games, and I'm sure they felt that way and probably still do.
I believe, Monty, that they've got enough young talent on this club that they can still make some noise over there and be at least a long shot to contend and make it interesting for the folks in Seattle. Presley and Bradley are good players. Davis, Alvin Davis.
And some good young pitchers. The throw a little bit off the mark there. And looked like Owen did have an idea of going to second. Either that or Rogers' move just kind of tricked him. 2 balls, 1 strike to count to the Mariner first baseman, Ken Phelps. Hole for him, of course, on that right side to pull into. But I suppose with a pitcher's speed like Clemens, you don't really consider that much of a hole on that side. There is a little respect for Phelps' ability to pull the ball, though. Lyons shades him, maybe 4 or 5 steps into right center field. And again, Roger over to first. I would think that if we were in the National League, or maybe with 1 or 2 other umpires in this league tonight, Owen would have already scored.
Be around on the box.
On the box, yeah.
That's right.
That's a very close clothesline move that Roger's using. Struck him out. Looked like the hard slider there, and Roger has gone to the snowman. That's number 8.
Boy, he is using those corners tonight. He'll give away ball 2 or ball 3 occasionally. This time, drifting, and that was just right up there around the letters. Try it and see.
The one Mariner hitter who has really slammed the ball off Roger tonight steps in now. Gorman Thomas, the designated hitter. He sent one on a screaming line drive to Rice and left. Misses that one. 0-1.
This crowd used to getting cheers about triples, home runs, and things. They're getting a treat so far tonight, aren't they?
Well, I tell you, Ned, I think they're going to see a lot of this during the course of the year. Certainly Roger, if he can stay strong, they're going to get it from Hurst, and they should be able to get it from Oil Can Boyd. Foul tipped in and out of the glove of Gedman. No balls, 2 strikes to Thomas. You look at this 4-man rotation, especially Al Nipper, who says he's not a strikeout man, has had more than his share, though, in his early goings. We know Lawler can strike out people. We know that Mike Brown can strike out people. Speaking of that, Mike Brown will figure as John McNamara's number 5 starter, as that rotation will get going now. The 0-2 just misses the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So you look at this Red Sox pitching staff. Jim Mahoney going through shoes. I don't know what kind of signs you give other than maybe something to Owen over at first to get your designated hitter off the hook with a stolen base or get caught stealing. One thing for sure, Gorman Thomas didn't look down there. Breaking ball misses, and it's outside to count Evels at 2-2. Look at this pitching staff, Ned. May, just maybe, could reach 550 or 600 strikeouts. I don't know about 1,000. Another quick look by Roger on Owen. Well, if you give them 150 apiece out of the 4 of them, or average,
terrific there.
You bet it is. You bet. And none of those fellows much walk anybody. Oh, had an idea and held it up just in time as they asked Tim Welke at first. He said no. So it's a 3-2 count on Thomas. This will give Owen with some speed a head start.
Crowd putting the pressure on the umpires right now. They want to see the strikeout. This pitch wasn't far from being a strike. It really wasn't. That's a good high American League strike. Possibly sometime. Would not be in the National League, and Welke says no.
That's the 6-3-2 count for Roger. Now Roger, a little cat and mouse game as Baylor will play behind Owen now. They don't choose to hold him on over at first. They figure he's going to go anyway, so they'll actually he's kind of holding him on, but he's just dead behind him. He'll move quicker than usual though to defensive set. Popped up right side. Playable for Baylor as he drifts into foul ground now. And has it go off his glove, and that's the play we mentioned that just doesn't like to make.
He's very uncertain on those. He says so himself. Seemed to be right there. Wasn't that hard, and it just went above his head and healed off his glove. He hasn't played first base for about 3 years. That gives Roger another chance.
That's right. Well, there's nobody hates that any worse than Don Baylor does, you can bet. A little meeting between Roger and the base runner right now, Spike Owen, as he went back across the middle to go to first. Of course, Spike well on around second on the way to third. So the payoff once again to Gorman Thomas. Struck it out. Call on a running inside corner fastball. That's number 9 for Roger, but more importantly, he erases the base hit. 1 hit for the Mariners, no score, and they leave one. After 3.5, there is no score in this game with the Red Sox and the Mariners. Here's Buckner. He chops it foul toward the first base side. Buckner, Rice, and Baylor to face Mike Moore here. No score after 3.5 as we go to bottom of the inning number 4. This may be one of those games, Ned, that both pitchers could go about 12 or 13 innings and you have just about the results we got right now. 2 hits for Boston and 1 for Seattle. Buckner out on a fairly sharp hit ball to straightaway center in the first. Tried to get on top of that one, couldn't do it. 0-2. By the way, that Ned told you about that hand injury to Dale Murphy. He hurt that making a catch up against the wall in the 3rd inning. Had to leave the game. Will be out, they report, for 5 or 6 days, which will bring a consecutive game streak for him. Tonight made his 675th straight start in that Atlanta outfield, so that string will come to a halt tonight. I don't know if he was going to catch anybody anyway. That number is 675, a long way away from catching anybody over there. Breaking ball toward the Red Sox dugout and off our camera. Down in the hole at first base.
Watch the merchandise, Buck.
Buckner said he'll be glad when it gets about 90 degrees every day. He don't care where he has to go. He was kind of disappointed Sunday that they did not get to play because of the warm weather and felt like that they could win. Hit weakly to Owen at short. A little bit of a high throw, but Phelps will handle it, and Buckner's out number 1. Matter of fact, when you talk to a lot of the Red Sox players, they felt like that they really wanted to play. They felt like they had the upper hand with Roger going against Gubazov.
I know that
Sunday afternoon.
McNamara felt that way.
Yeah.
Definitely. He wanted that game to be played. They figured that Roger was ready and that they had been struggling.
Not only that, Gubazov, for some reason, has never won a game in his major league career in April. So they didn't feel like there was any reason for that to change. Here's the left fielder, Jim Rice. He was out on a fly ball, a medium deep right in the second. Takes the more breaking ball, strike 1. The Red Sox hits a single by Evans in the third and an infield hit by Don Baylor in the second. Only Baylor got as far as second. Broken bat, looping fly ball. This will be a base hit. Deeper than you might think on a broken bat. Big turn for Rice at first, and he'll hold up right there. Hit number 3 for Boston. Good ball deep into that gap in the left center field for a broken bat. First baseman Don Baylor will be the hitter. Infield, outfield, straight away for Donnie. Of course, the infield shortens up just a bit to look for a twin killing. Well, these Mariners have done some twin killing too. They have turned 21 double plays. They crowd Donnie off the plate inside, 1-1. Baylor, some pretty good numbers against these Mariners in his career. 266. He's hit 21 home runs against them. Last year had 3 of those against the Mariners. Oh boy, he looked like he was looking for the breaking ball and got it and just fouled it off. A ball and 2 strikes. Kind of odd. The Red Sox have 3 hitters against these Mariners, all with 21. Baylor, Rice, and Armas. All with identical home run marks against Seattle. All of them right-handed too. You think that has something to do with that park in Seattle? Maybe. They crowd him again.
Something to do with this park too here, maybe.
Yeah, well, with the exception of Baylor, you're absolutely right. I'm sure it does. Two balls, 2 strikes to Baylor. Oops. Just by speed alone, as Moore comes over to first, you can't drift too far off that bag. If you ever got all that coupled up with a good move, you wouldn't be able to step off the bag at all. Baylor fouls a high pitch away, and the count will hold at 2-2. Mariners and the Red Sox traded numbers last year. The Mariners won 4 in Fenway, while the Red Sox could manage 2, and they just turned those numbers around out in the Kingdome. On the hands, foul. Presley couldn't quite reach it down that third base line. Would not have mattered anyway.
Baylor ought to get bats that are about as thick at the end, where he holds the bat, as it is at the business end. The way they eat him up inside of those pitches all the time. Get a little more thickness in there.
Well, they definitely try to work him inside. There's no question about that. If nothing else, it's hard for him to hit that ball fair, as we have seen many times already in this short season. And they just go completely across the plate there, and it's a full count to Baylor. Doubtful whether Rice would go here or not with that leg bothering him, but he could very well be sent. Really hampered him around on Friday night in Kansas City. Didn't seem to be quite as bad on Saturday. Maybe Baylor wants to check on that himself. Not Baylor, Moore, excuse me. Rice goes. It's swing and a miss. Here's the throw by Yeager. Plenty of time, and it's a strikeout 2-4 on the double play. So the Red Sox do not score in the fourth inning. They get a hit. They leave no one. And as we go to inning number 5 on this Tuesday night, no score after 4. Here's a look at the strike him out, throw him out. Rice, of course, as we mentioned, with a little bit of a hobble in that leg. And a good nasty pitch here once again. That hard slider from Moore, and Yeager with a lot of time to come out of there and fire. Of course, Rice not trying to steal the base. They're trying to stay out of the double play, and he is out by a long ways. Strikeout number 3 for Moore on that one. That's the 22nd double play turned by the Mariners this year. And Ned, we'll just go back to you. We watch Roger and Gedman play catch for a little while longer if you want to.
I'd say Roger's fairly strong tonight, wouldn't you?
maybe those 2 days more he got onto his start, 2 more days of rest have really been something for him. One thing, right after that first inning, he was a little high in that first inning, and although he had some 3-2 counts, did strike out the side, which he did also in the fourth after giving up a hit. But he's kind of gotten himself right down in that slot now in those in-between innings.
He went out and threw about 5 to 7 minutes in the rain in Kansas City after the game was called, and figured to get his throwing in, but he really didn't work an awful lot then. So he is hyper tonight. He has fanned 9. He has given up 1 hit through 4 innings. He faces Jim Presley. 1 ball, no strikes to the third baseman. Presley went down swinging in the second. He was number 4. No breeze right now. That's not a factor. Drops the breaking pitch over for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And without that wind coming in, it's a little bit warmer than it was really at the opening of the game. There's 2 of them. Went for the high pitch, tried to hold it back, and went to one knee.
Now, this is what happens when you're trying to catch up to a fastball. You realize you're a little bit behind. You get yourself a little bit too anxious because you're trying to get out in front and catch up to it. You make yourself swing at some bad pitches, especially that fastball up.
1-2 delivery, fouled off. Breaking ball that time, fouled up the screen. A ball and 2 strikes. Kind of overthrew the breaking ball that time for ball 2. 2-2. Roger fanned the side in the first, got 2 strikeouts in the second, 1 in the third, and 3 more in the fourth. And 1 in the fifth so far. That's number 10. So he goes on.
Bonus time has come early here for the Red Sox, and the Jimmy Fun tonight is Roger Clemens has pumped up 10. That gets you right over the bonus hump there, and then boy, it's just like, well, it's pay. It's a cakewalk from here on out.
$1,500 right now.
Yes, sir. All sponsored by the Polaroid Corporation.
There is Calderon for strike 1. He was called out on strikes in the second. 6 times now in his career has Roger fanned 10 or more, and 5 of them have been at Fenway. Most recently was against the Tigers, April 22nd this year. He struck out 10. Foul, strike 2. He's ahead of Calderon, 0-2, and this crowd is getting turned on. They're small, but they're mighty when he gets 2 strikes on somebody. Not like the call, and that's number 11.
Well, I don't blame him for not liking it. The big thing, Ned, and we've mentioned it a couple of times, not only is he getting the strikeouts, he's not necessarily doing it power-wise. He's doing it with just little bitty pieces of the plate. Now, he's been hit, and he'll go out right here. Only about a half of that ball's on the plate.
Carnival, strike 1. Carnival grounded out to second base to achieve a notoriety of some sort. At least he made contact with the ball in the third inning. Strike 2. What a show he's putting on now. Crowd yelling again for him. Gedman was going to put himself out there anyway and just dare Tartable to reach. He would have had to reach across the plate for it. And what is impressive is the fact that most power pitchers will try to go down the middle. He's using the corners. Ball 2. And he's using as you mentioned, very little of the plate on each side, but willing to throw, okay, ball 2, but I still have this thing that I can throw for strike 3.
Well, you know what? He's still pitching. He's not just winding up throwing the ball. He's just right now unhittable.
2-2 pitch. Strike 3. Clemens gets the side. He has now struck out 12 through 5 innings. 1, 2, 3 they go, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. No score.
Well, there's the inside part of the plate there to Mr. Tartable.
He knew it, too.
That umpire's been busy. Mr. Voltaggio had that right hand. He may have to go get a rub down on that before this game's over. Certainly he'll need one after it.
Meanwhile, the cosmetics have been applied by Clemens with the 12 strikeouts, but his opposite number, Mike Moore, has given up 3 hits and also no runs where it counts. He has struck out 3 along the way. His last one resulted in a double play in the 4th inning. So he has done his job, too. And we've got a 0-0 corker going to the bottom of the 5th inning. Rich Gedman up. Gedman grounded to second base in the 2nd inning. Ball 1. Moore has been using breaking stuff to advantage. Neither pitcher has walked a batter tonight. 2-0 count to Rich. Play, the ball thrown in there by Calderon. He is out at second. Rich Gedman with a hard enough single so that Calderon in right could play it nicely off the carom and throw him out at second base. Shortstop Spike Owen taking the throw.
Well, there's not much way you can hit a ball any harder than this. We've seen Gedman really waylay on some pitches this year. There's just one more of them. He really gets right on top of that ball. And really, the ball is hit so hard, you would figure that he may not have a chance to go to second anyway, and boy, did he not. Calderon with a good play there for a visiting player.
Take it nicely, perfectly off the boards there, and that overhand throw on one hop to get Gedman. And Getty had no chance. So it's a single wasted. 1 ball, no strikes. Barrett with a count of 1 ball, no strikes. Marty flied deep to center field in the 2nd inning, coming close to the wall, but Henderson went back on the track. There's a strike on Marty. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Red Sox now have 4 hits in the game, but a couple of them have been erased. One on the strikeout into a double play, and this one with out trying to stretch for Gedman. 1 ball, 1 strike to Marty Barrett. 0-0, bottom of the 5th, and a dandy. Just outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I'll assure you, Ned, there are 18 players, actually make that 20 since we have the DH. 20 players that are excited about playing in this kind of game because you got to stay on your toes. You know you want to make that good play when you have an opportunity to make it, just like Calderon did there. Certainly your pitcher and catcher are interested.
Ball 4, and there's the first walk given up by either pitcher. Barrett walks with 1 out. Right now, that makes that throw by Calderon look pretty important. We'll see. Steve Lyons fly to center field in the third inning. No runs, 1 hit for Seattle. No runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Red Sox. 12 strikeouts so far for Roger Clemens. If you just joined us, he has fanned the last 6 in a row, which ties an all-time Red Sox record for consecutive strikeouts in a game. Ray Culp has one of them, and Buck O'Brien did it a long time ago. Culp did it in 1970. O'Brien did it in 1913 at Washington, old Griffith Stadium, and Ray Culp did it on the 11th of May. And Roger has done it here tonight so far. 6 going and a possibility of 7. That was at California where Culp did it. Lions up with a count of 1 ball, no strikes. They're playing in New York now. Minnesota got 2 home runs in the second inning to lead Guidry and the Yankees 2-0. Tim Loudner and Lombardazzo hit back-to-back home runs. Lombardazzo with his first major league career home run off Guidry. But after Loudner hit one. 1-0 to Lions. 2-0 to Steve.
I'll get a phone call somewhere after the game tonight, boy. You'll be talking about that to parents or family or somewhere. Not many guys break in with that first one off.
Somebody like Guidry.
Off lightning, that's right.
Yeah. 2 balls, no strikes to Lions. Carved foul out of play, 2-1. Toronto leading California 3-1 after 3 at Toronto. Joyner is homered for the Angels. McCaskill against Steve. Baltimore nothing, the White Sox nothing in the third at Chicago. Royals 1, Detroit 1 after 4 at Detroit. Dennis Leonard in that one against Frank Tanana. (2-1) to Lions, and the throw, another hard throw over to first base by Moore. Joe Carter of Cleveland's hit a home run in the first inning, his 4th of the year, and Cleveland has at least a 1-0 lead over Texas down in Arlington. Well hit to center field. Henderson back, still back, and there at 379 with the catch. And Barrett back to first as Lyons gives it a ride, but nobody can get it to either side. They've been making the long shots to center field here.
It's kind of a pretty play you like to see the outfielder make, Ned. The crack of the bat, he puts his head down like Henderson does here. Just puts his head down. He's got to guess, anticipate about where that ball is going to go. He knows it's hit hard. Then he'll just look up when he figures he's just about right. And boy, that's right where Henderson is. He took it right into that corner.
Makes it look easy that way, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. Of course, he's going to run faster for one thing with not trying to watch the ball those first 4 or 5 steps.
Glenn Hoffman struck out his first time up and fouls this one off, strike 1. Well, he got a couple of people on that one, I believe. He did get the umpire Voltaggio, certainly. And maybe Yeager. It's a strike to Hoffman. Fouled off, strike 2. Cincinnati 1, Montreal nothing, but Montreal's piled up some runs in the 4th inning. Andre Dawson has hit his 6th home run. Hubie Brooks won right after that for his home run, his 5th. Tim Wallach his 3rd. Fitzgerald his 2nd, all in the same inning. So Montreal has gone ahead of Cincinnati. Knocked out Soto. Brought Price in. Zane Smith going for Montreal. A ball and 2 strikes to Glenn Hoffman. Bryn Smith, that is. There are Lee Smith, Zane Smith, and Bryn Smith all over the place, and all pitchers.
That's right.
2-2.
You know, I'll tell you, the only way I can remember him, because I got wound up in that thing the other day, is Zane pitches for Atlanta, and he's closer to the west. And it reminds me of Zane Gray, so that's how I remember it.
And that's good, a thought association right there.
Best I can do.
Another bullet over to first base by Moore.
Well, Phelps going to have to wonder if he's got the right kind of glove on over there in a minute.
Glenn Hoffman with a count of 2-2 and 2 out. Cracks it foul again. Count hangs that way. Down to the left side, Presley with it, and over to second to Tarnable for the out. The force is made, and the inning is over. And the Red Sox get a hit and a walk, but they leave one. And after 5 innings, it is still 0-0. Well, we're to the top of the 6th inning in a rapidly moving affair at Fenway, and this man is one of the names, is the name, along with his opposite number, Mike Moore. Roger Clemens has struck out 12 so far. The last Red Sox player to strike out 12 in a game was Oil Can Boyd. He did it in consecutive starts last April and May. Clemens' high is 15. He struck out the 15 Kansas City Royals. He has fanned 12 through 5 innings, and he's struck out the last 6 men to face him. So we'll watch this rather carefully. Almost lost in the shuffle is Mike Moore, who's pitching a heck of a ball game. He has struck out only 3. He's given up 4 hits, but he has given up no runs.
Might be one pitch make the difference in this ball game tonight, Mr. Martin.
Could be. I wonder. I'm thinking of Dave Henderson a lot. The small club. I hate to think that.
Because he's leading off, you mean?
He's broken up a couple with late inning home runs here. Won a 1-0 game, I believe. And Dave Henderson is up right now. He took a 3rd strike in the 3rd inning. He was number 6 for Clemens.
Actually, all of them can just about take a number now somewhere along the line.
Everybody, just about except Yeager. He's only been up once. Strike 1. This crowd getting fired up. One ball, 1 strike.
Well, they can talk about Dr. K if they want to, but tonight, I don't know. He wouldn't be any better. He might be even.
Yeah. Ball 2, a little bit high. Ball 2 and strike 1.
Well, one thing, the guy that hangs up all the K's here, no matter whether he sits and in the bleachers or down left field, he is really, really going to hate himself tomorrow.
Missed the boat
He
tonight.
is not here tonight.
Strike 2. It is 2-2 to Dave Henderson. Got him. 13 and a new Red Sox record. That's 13 in the game and 7 straight strikeouts for Roger Clemens, setting a Red Sox mark for consecutive batters struck out in a game.
This is just about as pretty as you'd want to make it.
Here is Steve Yeager. He flied to center field his first time up. Strike 1 there. So he is the only one that Roger has not fanned so far.
I don't know about you, but every strike he throws sending cold chills down my spine.
Strike 2. Yeah, I know what you mean. And you know, usually a rhythm pitcher is somebody who's kind of a finesse pitcher, but he's got a rhythm tonight
Yes,
along
sir.
with it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Did he get him? No. First base umpire Tim Welke says no. And it is 2-2.
I don't know what game he's watching. That's got to be a swing there.
Looked like it went around.
Oh, my goodness. Give him the benefit of the doubt, if nothing else.
Strike three. There it is. Number 14. Now he's gotten everybody in the lineup. Oh, he is just immense out there. Everybody up.
Yeager knew it, too. What anything he could do. He knew where the pitch was, knew what it was, just couldn't do anything about it.
8 strikeouts in a row. The last time that was equaled was Ron Davis. Tom Seaver has 10 in a row. Nolan Ryan did 8 twice, or 9 twice. Strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Spike Owens, who has struck out, and he has the only Mariner hit. He singled sharply to right field on a breaking pitch in the 4th inning after 2 strikes were on him. And he hits another one hard. Way back goes Lyons. Got it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Roger Clemens. Gets a tremendous hand as he goes off the field, as he has fanned 14 through 6 innings. And we move to the bottom of the 6th, 0-0. This is the way it is in the bottom of the 6th inning. And this only tells part of the story. The other part, a third of it, 1 hit for Seattle. And the biggest part, 14 strikeouts for Roger Clemens through 6 innings. Dwight Evans up. And Mike Moore. There's a ball behind Tarnable. And Evans gets a life. Danny Tarnable muffs one with took a quick hop on him as Evans gets on the error. So the Red Sox have the lead man on in an inning. Ball was tailing in a little bit, hit it hard, but right at Tarnable, and Danny just missed it, went behind him, couldn't find it, and it's an error to the second baseman. A very important runner, well, everybody that gets on in this game is very important, is Dwight Evans in a 0-0 game, and Mike Moore, pitching a fine game in his own right, has held the Red Sox scoreless. He has fanned 3. He has walked but 1. Wade Boggs is up. He's 0 for 2. They look for the bunt on the third base side. Takes ball 1. Presley way in on the grass on the third base side. And Boggs checking with Rene Latchman at third. It's low for a ball. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike to Boggs.
6 innings, Clemens has thrown 92 pitches, 64 strikes.
1 ball, 1 strike to Wade. It's the kind of game where you figure it's tough for any pitcher to lose. The way they've been pitching different types of games, but accomplishing the same end, holding the other team scoreless. Presley in still at third, but not as far. Runner breaks, a throw down to second base, and he is out of there. Danny Tarnable puts the throw on the second time that Yeager, with that little quick sidearm throw, has nailed a runner. Now, whether a sign was missed or whether it was just had to be a hit and run situation, and Boggs did not offer.
I think you're absolutely right, Mr. Martin. I see some awful frowning looking faces. One from Evans, the first, and then back to McNamara. On that hit and run, as we've said so many times, that base runner not trying to actually steal the base, so you're not really trying to get that big jump.
Trying to get him down there, but Boggs up there. 3-1 to Wade, and there is 3-2. So the Red Sox miss another opportunity. They've had 2 runners thrown out One runner thrown out from the outfield trying to stretch a single to a double. The other two thrown out by Yeager behind the plate. A walk to Boggs, and wouldn't you know that? Second walk given up by Moore. One out, one on. Mike Moore working in the telephone booth that is Fenway Park when you're in a 0-0 game. Buckner has gone 0 for 2. He has fly to center and grounded to shortstop. Ball one.
Pressure may be a little bit more on Moore tonight, Ned, than it would be on Clemens. Moore knows that his team has not been scoring a lot of runs. He's watched 14 of his teammates go down swinging tonight. He may figure that one run is going to be the difference in a game. So you start maybe as a pitcher trying to get a little finer, and that's when you're apt to make that mistake.
Boggs just getting back. He had enough of a lead where he knew he could get back standing up. One more step and he could get back maybe with a dive. 1 ball, no strikes. And a good strike thrown across the outside corner to Buckner. 1 ball, 1 strike to Billy Buckner in a 0-0 game, bottom of the 6th.
It's almost something right at the end of the signs from Yeager there. The little, after he'd given the wiggle sign, a little thumb flip. That was a sign for Moore to just come. There it is again. Come set and take a good throw over to first.
Hit off the hands by Buckner, and he'll need another bat after that one. Right at the thumbnails and fingernails and bat. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Buck.
To use that little thumb flip with you catchers a lot here. We used it for a while. As a catcher, if I wanted to find out something, if the base runner maybe give me something away, and certainly this ball game, a stolen base may be the difference. Stolen base
right.
and a base hit, you may have your ball game. So in order to find out something, maybe you wanted your pitcher to come set and give you a good move over to first, not just a move, a very good move. Sometimes that base runner would give you something away and give you a little bit of an advantage. No flip this time.
Pitch to the plate is in order. Buckner goes to left field fairly deep and is up off the wall. Boggs goes to third. Buckner goes to second. Runners at second and third. A line drive to left field. Bradley tried for it with a leap and went over his head off the scoreboard.
The play I think Bradley could have caught had he stayed with it. He just really misplayed the ball, not being that familiar with left field and the wall here. He's going to stop it and jump too quick. He could have gone another 2 steps maybe to get to that ball. He's not sure exactly if he's run out of room or what kind of room he's got left. Ball that would have been reachable for him had he gotten back there. Easy for Boggs to go to third. Of course, Buckner with the double. And Phil Regan, the pitching coach, to the mound.
Buckner's 7th double, and Jim Rice will be the batter. Now they have to decide what they want to do with Rice up there with 1 out. Baylor on deck. How they want to do it. With all of a sudden the Red Sox have created a situation here which Moore has not been in before. With runners at second and third, and Yeager looking toward the dugout will crouch behind the plate. Infield in all the way around. Runners at second and third, 1 out. Grounder to shortstop, and the runners will have to hold. Rice is out, and now there are 2 away, and there's a big break for Moore as the infielders can move back now. Jim Rice grounds to short on the first pitch. Now Don Baylor is the hitter. Moore doing a nice job that time after giving up the, well, there's an error on what should have been out number 1 on Tartables, and they got him anyway as Evans was caught down at second base. A walk to Boggs, then the wall double by Buckner, which, as Monty pointed out, might have been caught out there by Bradley. Here's Baylor. Carves the inside pitch into the crowd on the third base dugout side. Baylor has had an infield hit and struck out into a double play. He struck out on a breaking pitch. And the runner at first base, Rice, was caught going to second. Another one. This time he has zeroed in the dugout and went a little farther. Not quite so much foul as the first one, but hit harder. 0-2.
Manager Chuck Cartier, he's protected. He's going to get right behind that screen there.
So now Baylor is down on the count, 0-2. Runners at second and third. Struck him out. Dropped down, threw in the breaking pitch, and the Red Sox chances go by the boards in the 6th inning. They do not score. They leave 2 big ones. And after 6, it's 0-0. The Mariners strikeouts, 14 of them for Roger Clemens, in an exciting baseball game at Fenway Park, and some of the clowns are out on the field now and being taken care of. But it is almost a celebration time, and Monty, usually at Fenway Park, the excitement builds when the Red Sox come up in the bottom of an inning. Now it is building into the top of every inning.
Well, you're so right, especially tonight. These fans are right on Rogers' side all the way, and they have been actually right from first strikeout. Ned, the count went to 3-2 on Owen, and then he proceeded to strike out the side. It's just gotten better as the night has gone along. 2 times this young man has struck out. Here's the left fielder, Phil Bradley, in the 7th. You know, I was thinking about this a moment ago. After the 3-2 count to Owen as he led off, he had a couple of foul balls in his count, but since then they have not been that many foul balls on Roger. He has just been coming right after hitters and getting them. Needless to say, he's been getting them as he has struck out 14, 2/3 of his way to number 15, his career high. No balls, 2 strikes, the count to Bradley. No score in this one as yet, and as you keep mentioning, Ned, and very rightfully so, a good bit of pitching by Mike Moore, especially good pitching by him in that 6th inning. Rice, maybe a little over anxious, helped him out a little bit with 2nd and 3rd. Strike 3, number 15 for Clemens. He's tied his career high.
Well, you just maybe tape the first couple of batters in this game, and you can play it again. This is it again. Just high heat.
Oh, I looked up quickly to see Roger headed toward the Red Sox dugout without any indication of anything. As far as arm was concerned, all he wanted was a tongue depressor, though, to clean out his shoes.
Don't give me that again.
Oh. Well, you talking about all those chills I had go down my spine and those strikeouts.
Here you are for the Red Sox strikeouts. Mambo did it in Washington in a night game. I think it was in extra innings.
Were you there for that game?
Yeah.
Must have been.
Yeah, I was. It was 61.
I think he put a few curveballs on them boys. He would have done it a little different than I think Roger would have done it tonight, although Mambo had a pretty good fastball.
No, I don't think it was extra. He just did it. That was a night record at one time.
Ken Phelps. He is 0 for 2. Both times he's been up there, he has struck out. Baylor hugging the line at first. Boggs a bit off the line at third for the Seattle first baseman. Out of play. The ball goes one way, the bat the other. No balls, 2 strikes, the count to Phelps. The left-hander is Guterman, number 36 there, and the right-hander, of course, you might remember, Peter Ladd, formerly Bigfoot is right. Bigfoot, really Bigfoot. Peter Ladd, formerly with the Milwaukee Brewers. Gooderman can really throw hard. So can Ladd. Here's the 0-2. Laid off the high pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mariners do have Nunez back on their roster tonight. He has been on the disabled list. Check the swing. Just fouled it away. Ned mentioned earlier with the strikeout to Yeager back in the 6th, no Seattle batter has escaped Rogers' strikeout mark tonight. And as you can imagine, a lot of them have gone down twice. Breaking ball in a good one, but just a bit low, and it's 3-2 now to Phelps.
Roger, through 6 innings, had thrown 92 pitches, 60 of them for strikes.
Seems hardly enough.
Pretty good average there.
He'd have to throw about that many strikes to strike out as many as he's got. It's 2-2, not 3-2. Struck him out. On the foul tip, that's number 16 for Roger. I thought the count was 2-2, but I wasn't going to argue, and I was correct. At any rate, it winds up 2-3.
Here it comes on the 2-2 pitch. Just mad, nasty pitch. Breaking down and away from a left-handed batter.
Designated hitter Gorman Thomas. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. That Mambo Ked game was indeed in Washington, and it was 17, and he did it in 9 innings. He beat Washington, by the way, 2-1. I'd like to know how Washington got a point.
That was on the tail end of a
double play,
19-game road trip that we went on.
Fastball just a bit high.
That was my first long road trip in '61. They went to Detroit and Cleveland, and Jackie Jensen jumped the club. They went to Kansas City, Minnesota, L.A., and then back to Washington before coming home.
Five hits for Boston, 1 for Seattle. No score, and it's 1-2 to Thomas. Well, you have to think, too, that these Mariner hitters know that they've struck out a lot. And these people at Fenway are all standing. Fly ball, straight away, center field, deep. Lions right at the grill work. It's a home run.
Ooh.
Right up over the grill work for Gorman Thomas. It's 1-0 Seattle. That's number 5 for the big designated hitter.
Boy, that's what you think sometimes in this ballpark, in any ballpark, when you have a game like this. One thing like that can ruin a whole night for somebody. And he's the kind of guy that can put a game away with one swing of the bat. That's only the second Mariner hit. Ball out over the plate where he could extend on it. And he delivered a time. Lions for a minute thought he could have it, but it just kept going. He went as far back as he could.
0-1 count to Bradley following that. You know, Ned, what had happened is I looked up quickly at the flag. Although I don't know if that would have made a difference, it certainly would have been a hit. Certainly was going to be high off the wall. But that flag now blowing toward the center field area. Strike 2 to Bradley. Or make that Presley, excuse me. Roger may be thinking a little bit about that pitch to Thomas as he backed off the mound and took more time right there tonight than he has, I think, between any of his pitches. The 0-2. We're to the right side. Baylor will feed on to Clemens covering first, and the Mariners are retired, but they break the ice in this real pitching duel here tonight. After 2 strikeouts, the 2-out homer by Gorman Thomas, and at the end of 6 1/2, that's the score, 1-0 Seattle. Well, as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, the Seattle Mariners coming up with that run on the home run by Gorman Thomas. But when you look at it this way, Ned, you figure your team had to score a run to win anyway. So now instead of winning, they just have to come something to get a little bit even with the Seattle Mariners.
Well,
Mike
they had
Moore
their shot a couple of times, and Moore did an excellent job in the 6th inning on something that was not entirely his fault, getting the paper where they were.
certainly didn't do that. The error committed by Tartabull. There's the difference in that flag as we started here tonight. That flag blowing right in our face here behind home plate. And now it's blowing at our back straight to center. In the 7th, Gedman, Barrett, and Lyons, the scheduled hitters against Mike Moore. Popped it up left side in foul ground. Jim Presley with a lot of room. Yeager gives way to Presley at the last second. And Gedman is out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. Mike Moore has had the Red Sox on base in each of the last 5 innings. He gave up hits in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. He walked Red Sox batters in the 5th and in the 6th. But the Red Sox have not been able to do anything about it. And Barrett had a long drive to left center his first time up that looked like it might do some work. That was after Baylor had gotten to second on an infield hit and a ground out, but Dave Henderson ran that one down. That prevented the Red Sox from scoring. Marty 0 for 2. Tough pitch by Moore right on that outside corner. 0-1. I said Marty's 0 for 2. Excuse me, he's 0 for 1. He walked in the 5th. Reaches for the breaking ball, fouls it away. 0-2 the count. Red Sox with a 9-8 record. Tied for second with 2 other clubs in this American League East. 2.5 games behind the Yankees, who are getting beat right now, by the way, by a score of 4-3. To Owen at short. A real grass cutter there. He throws Barrett out, and that's 2 down. Marty, by the way, has not struck out yet in this 1986 season. It's covered 65 plate appearances now. As a matter of fact, struck out just once every 11.5 or 11.8 times, something like that, last year. So Marty well and above running over that record. Here's center fielder Steve Lyons. Looks to bunt and takes the breaking ball off the plate outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Double barrel action in the Red Sox bullpen. Sammy Stewart and Tim Lawler. Actually, they're just probably getting some throwing in because they're past Stewart's point in the game. To the left side and through the hole. Lyons just saw the big gap over there. Seemed like he just took that pitch and steered it right through there. He'll have the 6th Red Sox hit. He's 1 for 3. So something running with a couple down here in the 7th.
Steve was looking to the left side when he bluffed the bunt the last time up, looking for a little hole somewhere. Then he found the hole by swinging away, kind of inside out at it, really, and got it into the big hole between the third baseman and shortstop.
So with 2 out now, a little speed on with Lyons at first. That'll bring up Glenn Hoffman, the shortstop. Hoffy has struck out that back in the 3rd inning, and he bounced into a 5-4 fielder's choice that ended the 5th.
Got to watch Lyons now.
Infield, fanned out. Presley right on that line at 3rd. Lyon with a bluff on a couple extra steps on his lead. Hoffman takes it outside, ball 1. The Seattle outfield straight away, very deep, and they are sitting in a position. They'll of course try to cut off a gap or keep anything from being hit over the head that might allow Lyons to score. Moore going to try to take a step from that lead right there. Pitching seems to be rather in vogue tonight, Ned. Some close scores going on. Baltimore 1-0 over Chicago after 5.5. McGregor against Nelson. It's 2-1 Detroit over Kansas City after 7. Tanana against Leonard. 1-1 after 2.5 at Milwaukee and Oakland. Cotterelli against Wegman. So scores are fairly low. It's 1-0 here. Watch out, Hoffy. Ball looked like it might have just bent right around Hoffman's front leg.
Looked for a minute as if he was hit by it, where he could take one for the club at this point. And he just kind of danced away and almost grazed his uniform.
Pulled it back in time. 3-0 to Glenn. They've got a dandy going in Toronto. California, Toronto tied at 3 after 5. Joyner's hit his 6th home run of the year for the California Angels. That was a solo homer in the 4th inning. McCaskill against Steve in that one. Ball 4 to Hoffes. He walks on 4 pitches. That'll move Lyons up to second in scoring position, representing the tying run, and that'll bring up Dwight Evans. The 3rd walk issued by Moore tonight. Ed Romero has come out to run for Glenn Hoffman. Ed Romero, who has been the starting Red Sox shortstop for the last 15 games.
And done a very good job of it, too.
He has indeed. As a matter of fact, Ned, the last game he played, we might remember, he hit a couple of balls hard. Brett actually robbed him of 2 base hits. He could have been 2 for 3 in that game or 2 for 4, but as it wound up, it didn't work out that way. Double barrel action now in the Seattle bullpen. That is Matt Young and Best. Carl Best is the right-hander. This Seattle ball club can throw some heat at you out of that bullpen, I will assure you. So 2 on, 2 outs for Evans. He looks one over, a bit low, ball 1. Matt Young just demoted to the Seattle bullpen. He was sent down there today, as a matter of fact. A little pitching change in the rotation for this series here in Boston. Billy Swift will pitch on Thursday in this series, taking Young's place. Drive deep to left center field. This ball is deep, gone. It's a home run. 3-run homer for Evans. The Red Sox lead 3-1.
Smash by Dwight Evans. His 2nd home run of the year, the first since opening day. Laced it, and everybody knew there was going somewhere. It only has to hit to the right side of that yellow line, and that's exactly what it did. Right in there for a 3-run homer. And Dwight knew that he had at least a double on this. Had to keep watching, and then he knew, I've got the whole thing.
Boston takes the lead. It's 3-1, and Boggs has a strike on him as Evans will circle the bases. Number 2 for Dwight. Boggs 0 for 2 in the night. Well, Ned, that's one of the few times, and I mean very few times, that Evans has seen a fastball on the first pitch to him in a sequence of pitches. A lot of pitchers have been getting a lot of breaking balls and off-speed stuff.
Maybe the first one he'd seen since Jack Morris on opening day. I don't know.
He certainly hasn't seen many. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Wade. They shift him around to left, of course. And he sends it that way. But it should be catchable for Bradley as he makes the wrong turn and then finally winds up with the catch. But the Red Sox take the lead. The big 3-run homer. Dwight Evans, his 2nd of the year as we go to inning number 8 on this real pitcher's night, and it's still a pitcher's night. The Red Sox lead 3-1. One change for the Red Sox as we go to the 8th inning. We'll make that 2 changes, actually. One is that Ed Romero will be at shortstop in place of Glenn Hoffman, who he pinch ran for. And secondly, Roger Clemens has a 3-1 lead, which he didn't go to into the 7th with.
Boy, they changed that around in a hurry, as the bottom of the order really started it with 2 out. A single by Lyons and a walk to Hoffman. There the K's out in right field. All of a sudden they appeared.
Guy must have been listening or watching something and got here.
Boy, they got strung up there in a hurry.
He wasn't here in the 5th when he got his 10th, because I looked again then. So,
well, he's got 16 now, and he is within a shot of a major league record. Which is 19. Strike 1 to the first batter, Calderon, who has fanned twice. Top of the 8th inning, Red Sox lead 3-1. Calderon has been called out twice on strikes.
is that record held by a couple of people at 19?
I think Carlton has 19. Steve Carlton and somebody else.
I know Nolan Ryan's got 19 because I watched him do it.
Joe Stambito and Rob Stanley, they're the late inning guys, and they're up in the bullpen. 0-2. 0-3. 17. And Calderon was just completely lost out there. He was flailing away regardless of where it was. He has tied the Red Sox record for Mambo Kett, which he did in 1961. There is ball 1 to Tartable. Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, and Steve Carlton all have 19. Back it goes for a foul. I think that 18 is the American League record held by Bob Feller.
No, I don't know. I can't be sure, but I think I saw Nolan Ryan strike out 19 of us.
Oh, that was when he was in the American League.
Yeah.
That's right, with California.
Yeah.
The other 2 were national. There's a drive to the gap in right center field, covered by Lyons in a hurry, and Tartable is on with his first hit, and the 3rd hit for the Mariners.
Well, the young man has proved all along coming into this series here that he's got a little punch. He finally catches up with a Clemens fastball, which a lot of Mariners have not been able to do tonight, although he didn't pull it. Gets it into right center toward the gap, cut off nicely by Lyons, and he'll keep the force play in order.
So here we go with 1 out in the 8th inning, and Dave Henderson is up. The pitch. Strike 1. Henderson called out on strikes in the 3rd, went down swinging in the 6th. He was number 6 and number 13. 17 strikeouts for Roger Clemens, if you just joined us. We're in the 8th inning. Strike 2. Now he's ahead of Henderson, 0-2. Crowd up again. Foul ball, out of play. He'll have another shot. And you start thinking about records now. He's within 2. Incidentally, Steve Carlton, show how his luck ran. He struck out 19 and lost the game. Al Cowens has come out on deck with Henderson up there, and Cowens, if he gets a chance, if there's no double play here, will bat for Yeager. A ball that sounded high, a fastball up and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Knocked him down a little bit. 2-2. Roger pressing maybe a little on that pitch.
That's just looked like maybe an overthrow there, Ned. A little anxious to get it, maybe trying to throw a little bit harder. Wish you wouldn't do that.
Just stay within yourself, Roger. It's worked so far. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Strike 3. 18. Never has there been this excitement in the last couple of years here. And it's not a sellout crowd by any means, but they're making sellout noises. Red Sox record for strikeouts in a game. Al Cowens is going to bat for Steve Yeager. There's your mark on the scoreboard. Cowens usually gets the bat on the ball, but I would think this would be a terrible time to come up as a pinch hitter, wouldn't you?
Well, one thing, when a manager calls your name, you wouldn't run up there that bat rack to grab a bat. You'd go walking up there with a very soft gait.
All right, Al Cowens up there. The runner at first base is Tartable. Ball 1. There's a good breaking pitch for a strike. Roger has struck out 30 batters now in 2 consecutive games, and that's a major league record. Fly ball, center field straight away, and Lyons is there. So that ends the 8th inning. He still has a shot at it. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Red Sox leading 3-1. We have a new catcher for the Mariners as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bob Kearney has come on to catch the slants of Mike Moore, who in his own right has pitched a fine ball game, made one mistake, a 3-run homer to Dwight Evans in the 7th inning to make it 3-1. The attendance tonight in on this almost historic occasion, we don't know yet, 13,414. 13,414. Boy, and they'll remember this one. If he does break or tie that record, in 10 years there'll be 30,000 people here.
Minimum.
Bill Buckner is up. There is a strike. Buck has a double tonight, a double off the wall in the 6th inning. They did not score in that inning. They scored in the 7th after 2 were out. A single by Lyons, a walk to Hoffman, and a home run by Evans. And that's been the bad inning, really, for Moore. Red Sox had opportunities in the 5th and 6th, but they were squelched. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ripped into right field, base hit. Bill Buckner with a good smooth stroke that time, singles sharply to right for his 2nd hit.
Certainly starting to see a little bit more of the kind of swing that you expect to see from Buckner, Ned. The last couple of days he homered out in that series in Kansas City. He's been working a little extra hard. Even though that elbow is bothering him to throw, it's not bothering him that much to hit, as evidence tonight, that double and then the single here. That ball scorched pretty good by Buck there to right field.
Yeah, he was saying, I don't mind this DH too much every once in a while. Kind of nice to watch a game and get ready. Sort of fun. Well, he's had fun the last couple of days, one in Kansas City and so far tonight. Here's Jim Rice. Ball 1, the ball aimed a little bit by Moore that time and blocked by Kearney.
Buck might say that he kind of likes that DH once in a while, but I don't know if I'd try to tie a rope and keep him out from playing.
You couldn't. He'd find a way to break it somewhere. Jim Rice has 1 hit in 3 times. They take off Buckner, the ground ball to shortstop, and because Buckner was taking off, he gets to 2nd. Rice grounds out Owen over to Phelps, but Buck, who is moving, gets to 2nd base.
Well, he made a nice little handshake there for Jim in the dugout. He didn't put a great swing on it, but he did what they asked him to do. Buck maybe a little jam knee into second when he went in on that slide. Buck probably had to make a decision whether it was going to be close on him at second. They asked Jimmy to put the ball in play somewhere on the ground, preferably, and he did as Buckner took off. Certainly kept them out of the double play there anyway.
Don Baylor is up, has singled and struck out twice. Rips it, foul. There's that third base foul line shot again. He did it on a breaking pitch too. You'll see a zillion of those this summer. You'll also see some go fair. Against the wall, into the screen, and over everything. Little scrap iron at second base, but now a little twisted knee to go along with the ankles and the elbow.
Send trainer Charlie Moss back to the drugstore for more ice bags.
0-1 to Baylor. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mack may be trying to steal a run here, Ned. He's got a 2-run lead. It's late in the game with that hit and run play between Rice and Buckner. Try to get Buckner down there in some kind of scoring position for not only Baylor here, but Gedman, who's on deck. And that's not a bad idea at all.
Baylor cracking that inside pitch again, foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Don. John McNamara sitting in on this one and happy to be here right now with the performance of Roger Clemens. Red Sox are leading 3-1 in the 8th inning if you just joined us. Roger Clemens has struck out 18 with 1 inning to go. Fastball 2-2. Major League record is 19. Baylor cracks a foul to the screen, and it's 2-2. Minnesota now leading the Yankees 6-4 in their battle at Yankee Stadium. That's after 5 innings. Loudner, Lombardazzo have hit back-to-back homers for the Twins. Pagliarillo and Griffey have homered for New York. Guidry is gone, and Ed Whitson is on, getting his usual round of applause, I suppose, in Yankee Stadium. Butcher all the way so far from Minnesota. 2-2 to Don Baylor. Foul back out of play. Baylor lives. Three runs, 8 hits, 1 error for Boston. 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error for Seattle. The home run has told the story offensively. Gorman Thomas put the Mariners ahead of Clemens with a home run in the 7th after Clemens had fanned 16 at that point. Then Dwight Evans with a 3-run homer in the 7th, putting the Red Sox ahead. 2-2 to Baylor. Three and 2. So the crowd wouldn't mind to see another run or 2 put up here, but they're all waiting around. Not one soul is left here as they wait for the 9th. He walks Baylor. 4th walk given up by Mike Moore, and he's kind of aiming the ball at Baylor that time. And Cottier coming out toward his pitcher. Moore has worked hard and well tonight, but in a circumstance that, well, you almost have to be perfect. They've had activity in the Seattle bullpen. The batter will be Rich Gedman with runners at 1st and 2nd. And that is going to be all for Moore, and he will get a well-deserved round of applause here. As they're coming in from the bullpen, new pitching help for the Seattle Mariners as Mike Moore leads to a standing ovation by some of the folks here after realizing a job well done, but he has been up against a Roger Clemens on an almost impossible night. Well, the starter, Mike Moore, threw 117 pitches in 7 2/3 innings, gave up 8 hits and 3 runs. He's responsible for 2 runners. He walked 4 and he struck out 4. Other American League games is California 3, Toronto 3 after 6. Joyner is homered for the Angels. Baltimore has come up with 4 runs in the 7th, knocking Gene Nelson out, and they lead the White Sox 5-0 now. Ripken has homered. Kansas City Royals and Detroit are in the 9th at Tiger Stadium, with the Tigers leading 2-1 Tanana over Leonard. All right, we're set now with Rich Gedman up. Gedman 1 for 3. Ball 1. This year, Rich has hit left-handers 6 for 19 at a .316 clip. Changed his whole career around when they just let him go and put him in there against everybody after platooning him for a couple of seasons.
I think the only left-hander he hasn't played against has been Bannister twice, hasn't he? He didn't start those 2 games.
Very high in the air to right center field. 3 players converging, and who's going to get it? Henderson, the center fielder. So there are 2 away. Tartabull was out. Henderson and Calderon were over. So Young gets his first hitter. And Marty Barrett coming up. We're going to have another visit to the mound. Barrett in this one has flied deep to center, walked, and grounded to shortstop, and they want the right-hander from the bullpen. That lad, who is somebody up best, I don't know who it was out there, but they are going to go the other way with right-handed hitting Marty Barrett up.
So he'll make his move here, his percentage move. He'll go to the bullpen and get Carl Best, who can really get it up there with some hurry on it. 1-0, and this will be his 4th appearance, all as a reliever. An even 3 earned run average. 3 hits given up in 3 innings, a run it was earned. He's walked 2, and he has struck out 2. This Seattle Mariner bullpen, as we have mentioned, blessed with a lot of hard throwers down there. Some of them yet young enough, wild enough to maybe cause them some problems. And just today, they've been joined by Nunez, Edward Nunez, who we have seen him throw hard.
Oh, yeah.
Young, who just left here tonight in his one batter appearance against Gedman, he can certainly throw hard. So it's not exactly you don't go up there with a bat looking for a trick pitch off any of these Seattle Mariner bullpenners. You just get it turned, the volume turned up, and try to find something you really cut down on, and whittle work.
So many clubs want to have just one guy that come out there, the stud that can strike somebody out. They've got 3 or 4.
They certainly do.
In the long run, that would be pretty, I would think, augur pretty well for Seattle, Monty. You could get either a very strong, deep bullpen out of that, or make a starter out of one. Of course, Matt Young is a starter. He's just there temporarily, probably, to get it back.
This guy spent just a bit of time with Seattle last year, Ned. He was in 15 games with them, worked all as a reliever. In those 15 games, he worked 32 1/3 innings and struck out 32 in the big league. So he wasn't overly impressed by any American League hitters when he first came up here. He just did what he can do, and that's throw hard. He can definitely throw hard. He's had big years, over 100 strikeouts a couple of years in his minor league career. So if he can find that strike zone consistently enough, and they feel that he can, somebody better watch it.
Yeah. The Pawtucket Red Sox won their ball game tonight, with Mike Rochford winning his 3rd without a loss. Marty Barrett is up 0 for 2. Red Sox leading 3-1. Again, if you just came in, they were waiting for the 9th inning, because Roger Clemens has struck out 18 batters, 1 shy of the major league record with 1 inning to go. Meanwhile, it's just a 2-run lead for the Red Sox. Certainly no blowout for Roger to concentrate strictly on strikeouts. He wants to win the ball game. Buckner at second, Baylor at first. Strike 1 to Barrett. The outfield straight away on Marty. Carl Best getting ready to pitch to Barrett. That is Mudd is to Jeff. Watch out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Conference right there. Old buddy Mike Easler has hit his first home run of the year for the Yankees. Came in the 6th inning with nobody on. Yankees trailing Minnesota at least 6-5. Kind of a wild one at the stadium. The Mets romped to their 10th win in a row tonight by beating Atlanta 10-5, getting 14 hits. Strawberry homered. 1 ball, 1 strike to Marty Barrett. Shoots it off to right field, foul, and it's 1-2. Montreal 7 and Cincinnati 2 in the 9th. Cincinnati batting now. And the Phillies leading Houston by a 10-4 score after 7. Detroit has beaten Kansas City. That's the final 2-1. Frank Tanana getting his 3rd win, beating Dennis Leonard in a tough ball game. Again, Kansas City having trouble getting runs. Barrett checks a swing, foul tip, strike 3. So it's a strikeout, and the 2 relief pitchers come on and do their jobs. We go to the 9th inning, and Roger Clemens with the Red Sox leading 3-1. So it is the 9th inning with Roger Clemens 1 strikeout away from tying a major league record, 2 strikeouts away from creating one. He has fanned 18 through the 8 innings, and in that time he has thrown 124 pitches, 84 for strikes. Changed defensively for the Red Sox in the 9th. Dave Stapleton playing first base. Stapleton replacing Baylor at first base. And it's still just a skinny lead for Roger, even though he's been so overpowering. There they are in right field. The K's are up. 18 of them. And this crowd pumped up and hanging around to see what happens in the 9th. The top of the order will be up against Clemens, Owen, Bradley, and Phelps. Spike Owen, a teammate of Rogers in college, and the only switch hitter the Mariners have, has struck out, single to right, and flied deep to center. Clemens has allowed 3 hits, a home run by Gorman Thomas, single to Owen, and a single to Tartable. So here we go. Strike 1.
I wonder if he knows he's that close to a record.
I don't know. He knows he has a Red Sox record. Little breaking ball for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Owen. Little foul ball down to third base. And now the count is 1-2. Owen really tried to duck away from that.
Somehow you got the feeling that these fans are glad that that was a foul.
Yeah.
They all come to their feet again.
They're looking back and they're glad that Baylor dropped that foul ball too. Got a strikeout out of it.
Might make the difference.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Owen. Foul ball, and the count hangs at 1-2. Owen is not an easy man to strike out. He'll usually get the bat on the ball. 1-2. Tied the record. Tied 19 for Roger Clemens. Major league record tied. He has 2 batters to go to try to set a new one. Here's Bradley. Ball one. Here is the record tire.
Didn't lay off the highway.
1-0 pitch to Bradley. Ball two. Phil Bradley has struck out 3 times. He was number 2, number 7, and number 15. Strike one. 2 balls, 1 strike, and he's still working like a machine out there. Strike 2. 2-2. And here they come up at Fenway.
I'm surprised they're going back down. I would think they would just stay up.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to stand up.
A new record. Clemens has set a major league record for strikeouts in a game. 20. Well, just let them yell. 20 strikeouts in a game, and here's Ken Phelps. Ball one. That would be something if he could finish with a flare and strike out the side.
The way he started, why not?
He did that. Count is 2-0 to Phelps. Oh, mercy. Gets the strike in there. 2 balls and 1 strike to Phelps, the left-handed batter. He has struck out 3 times. He has been number 3, number 8, and number 16. To shortstop, Romero. Game's over, and Roger Clemens has fanned 20 for a new record. What a performance by the kid from the University of Texas. The whole team is there. Keep it right here for a minute. 20 strikeouts, a new major league record in one single game. Final score, Red Sox 3, the Mariners 1. And Steve Lyons is patting his glove as if he did it. A tremendous hand for Roger Clemens.